Now for this animation, I'm going to show you how to make something sway like this using the Puppet Warp tool. So let's get started in exactly the same way by creating a new file and creating the exact same file size and resolution. I'm just going to call this the sway. And for this one, I'm going to bring in the red tulip. So let's see, where is my red tulip? It's right over here. I'm going to click on it, Command C and Command V. And this one is a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to click on this to drag it and make it bigger, and then center it and click enter. Alright, so we have all these different pixel layers here, but because we're going to be using Puppet Warp, we can actually go ahead and right click and merge this group and just flatten all the layers because we're going to be using the Puppet Warp tool. In order to do that, first of all, you need to make this layer into a smart object. So you want to right click on the layer and then convert to smart object, and then you'll see this appear right here. And then once you have that, you want to go up top here, go to edit, Puppet Warp, and you'll see this mesh. If you don't, you can make sure that show mesh has been clicked. Expansion is set to this default number here, but you can also change it to different expansion pixels so that you can cover more of the area. And then you're gonna go ahead and drop some pins to where you want it to be on your drawing. And so for me, I think I'm gonna put a pin here, maybe right there, and then another one here, another one here. And then to just see how things work, you can just move the pin like so. I'm just dragging it and just see how the movement is like, and then Command Z to bring it back to where it was. If you don't like where some of the pins are, you can just click on the pin and then click on delete, and you'll see that if I delete it, then it moves like this. Command Z. If I have these pins on the leaves, then I'll only move more like this, and I can move the leaves like so. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just gonna click on this check mark or click on enter, and after you have added the pins, you'll notice that you've got the smart filter and the Puppet Warp added here. So that is the effect. And since we are ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and create frame animation. And because I'm doing a sway from left to right, for the first frame, I'm just going to make the flower move towards the left and then slowly move right and then move back. So let's see here. So for this first frame, I'm going to click on Puppet Warp, and I'm just going to move the leaves and then also the flower like so, and then click on enter. And if I don't like what I see, I can also go back to Puppet Warp by double clicking on Puppet Warp, and then maybe I want to move also the leaves, and then click on enter. Let's say I was happy with that, so I'll click on the plus and to create the second frame. And for the second frame, I just want to copy this. So I'm going to click on Command J. You'll see it's created a copy. And I'm gonna just turn off the first layer, and in this copy I'm gonna go into Puppet Warp, and then I'm gonna move a little bit more towards the right, and this one I'm gonna move it this way too. Click on enter, and you'll notice the flower is moving towards the right. And if you wanted another one, you just need to create the frame, and then you want to copy this copy, so Command J. So you've got a copy 2, turn off the previous copy, and then go back to the Puppet Warp tool, and then move it a little bit even more. And let's just give it a little bit of delay, so click on this, shift, click all, 0.1 second delay, and play it. Oh, that's a bit fast. How about a 0.2 second delay? Right, so you'll notice that it's moving towards the right. And the way it's working is that you've got the first frame with just the first layer, and the second one is the copy layer. The third frame is the copy 2 layer. One important thing is when you're doing this, you want to make sure you want to click on this right here and make sure that you have new layers visible in all frames unchecked like this. It shouldn't be checked, it should be unchecked. And that way you will only see the layer that you have on for each frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and see what can be done. So we're moving from left to right. Maybe I can add one more. So Command J, copy 3, so turn off the previous copy. Oh, before that, let's see, 1, copy 1, this should be copy 2 only, and I forgot to create a new frame here. So copy, we've got frame 4, and this one goes with copy 3. And then I just want to move it even more to the right. Enter. So I've got this movement. This one is quite a drastic movement. So maybe for number 3, I just want to move a little bit more. This is quite a drastic movement here. Maybe then this one needs to be a little bit moved. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. Let's see what that looks like. I think that looks good. And I want this to loop as well. I don't want there to be a big gap between frame 4 and 1. I want it to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to just click on frame 2 and shift, and also click on frame 3, and then I'm going to click on option and drag it here, and I'm going to reverse frames so that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 3, 2, and then back to 1. So let's see what that looks like. There we go. So this is the sway using the Puppet Warp technique, and this is really useful if you want to make something that is a bit more fluid in motion. And for things like flowers or plants, I find this is a really great tool to animate your plants and flowers with, because you only need to draw your asset once and you can still bring life to your illustration. So that's basically it for this animation. I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to create using the puppet warp technique.